to my office, you guys. I'm gonna package up some whatnot orders from last night's show, and then I'm gonna take you guys with me to the thrift store. We're gonna look for some things to sell. But while we're doing all that, today we're gonna be discussing 5 things I wish I knew when I first started reselling. I think these definitely could have made things go smoother for me. I could have had an easier go at reselling had I just known these few things. Alrighty. Alright, first thing that I wish I had known when I first started reselling is to beware of the repetitive BOLO list. Like, especially the brands that you hear on repeat over and over and over again. I'm not talking about being aware of actual BOLOs, actual items that you might not be aware of, but hey, these resellers just want you to be on the lookout. That's what BOLO means. I'm talking about the same brands on repeat, and believe it or not, there are people out there who actually want to charge you for their list of BOLOs, and I feel like unless that list is consistently and constantly refreshed, or unless it's incredibly specific maybe to a particular niche, BOLOs are something that are ever changing. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple examples. When I first started reselling, a couple brands that were the it brand to pick up, I picked up a lot of Free People. Comment below if you have been stuck with Free People merchandise because you picked it up because every reseller told you to pick up Free People. I bought so many mall brands, Ann Taylor, White House Black Market, all of these clothing brands, because the same brands kept popping up on so many different YouTube channels, and I thought, man, there must really be something to picking up this brand. And that is in no way, shape, or form exclusive to clothing or clothing sellers. Tupperware, okay? Not every piece of Tupperware is a BOLO. How about Starbucks mugs? Has anyone here personally been victimized by being told to pick up every Starbucks mug when you first started reselling? Or Revereware. That is something. A lot of the pots and pans aren't really worth a ton. There are a few that are rare that are worth quite a bit more, but these are just a few examples of how you can really get pulled into the hype of hearing, again, the same brands, the same products over and over again from all of your favorite YouTubers, and you just think, man, I really need to be picking this up. And if you're picking it up and the 5,000 other subscribers or whoever watched the video is all picking it up, unless there's something rare about it, if it is a brand that you're hearing over and over again, then there's a good potential that it could be an oversaturated brand, i.e. Free People. I do think that there is space to educate people who maybe aren't necessarily into women's fashion. Hey, here are 10 really great women's fashion brands, and there might even be a video for that. But don't base the whole of your business, your reselling business, especially when you first get started, on picking up just those BOLO brands, because I'm telling you, there is enough J. Crew, Banana Republic, Ann Taylor, Free People in my stale inventory to prove to you that that is not how you build a successful reselling business. Hear me when I say I'm not suggesting that every YouTube video offering you BOLOs is false, but definitely look at the date that that was posted. It could have even been that I was watching videos 3 years old. That could have been a rookie mistake also. All of this being said, I love the value and appreciate so much that all of the work that goes into a what sold video, and I would encourage you to seek those out. While we're talking about BOLOs, I have to give a plug and a shout out to Courtney of Bolo Buddies. She runs one of the top tier channels here on YouTube that is going to tell you what items sell for, true BOLOs to look out for, things that you otherwise might have walked right by. And her channel was invaluable to me as a brand new reseller when I first started out. Definitely check out Courtney Bolo Buddies. I will drop her link in the description below. If there's one channel that other than mine that you need to subscribe to, it is Courtney for sure. All right, I got these things packaged up. It's time to get some labels on them, and that brings me to the next thing I wish someone had told me way earlier in my reselling career, because it could have saved me so much time. Without a doubt, one of the most valuable pieces of information I wish I had found out earlier as a reseller was to get a thermal printer. And guys, I have scoured the internet and found one of the most, if not the most, I believe it's probably the cheapest Bluetooth thermal printer you're going to find, period. You heard that correct. This thing is going to connect to my phone via Bluetooth. I can print labels from my phone directly to this, no connection required, and it's not Wi-Fi. So if you are a storage unit reseller, that is, you run your business entirely from a storage unit, you can print your labels. There's no internet connection required. This is Bluetooth. You are not gonna believe the price of this Bluetooth thermal printer, but first we're gonna unbox it, we're gonna see what's inside, and guys, your eyes are not playing tricks on you. That is a pink thermal printer. Let's check it out. All right, now I don't do a ton of unboxings here on the channel, but I wanted to show you guys exactly how this thermal printer arrived to me directly from Jadens. Now, this is ordered from the Jadens website. You can see this is JD, so Jadens 468BT. Let's check out the specs on this before we get into it. It is a thermal printer, 203 DPI, so it's pretty decent resolution there. This thing can hook up to your computer via USB or to your phone via Bluetooth. It is supported by Windows, Mac, iOS, or Android. So there's not a device that you're going to be running that this thing is not compatible with. One of my favorite things about it is they have estimated it will last about 700,000 labels. Wow, that is quite a bit. They say on the website that this prints, I think, 6 inches per second. So we should be able to get a thermal label out of this one in less than a second. All right, look at this presentation. Everything is pink. It is gorgeous. Inside, it looks like we have the USB cable as well as the power adapter and cable. And then I forgot to tell you guys, this is supported with, they have European plugs, UK plugs, Australian, they have all the different plugs. So obviously we're using the really surprise shocked face here, the US plug. So let's see what is in the box. Immediately we have some labels. So it did come with, I want to say maybe 20 or 40 labels. Inside this first package, this is an adapter that is going to take you from a USB plug into a C-type, because a lot of the new devices are not even coming out with USB anymore. Everyone is going to the C-type. So this could definitely be invaluable depending on the age of the hardware. Okay, I kind of feel bad for not knowing. This looks like a USB plug. I'm not really sure. Maybe this is a dongle to get it to connect wirelessly. Maybe that's what this is. Not positive, but it is like a rose gold pink color. So pretty. Here are the instructions. Here are the labels. What else is in the box? The beautiful printer. We'll pull that out last. Here is the power source as well as the power cable. Everything is packaged up so nicely here. And then one other power cord there. So definitely all the cords we need to get it connected to different devices. All right, let's get it out here. This is such a beautiful pink. Oh my gosh, I just love this. Who else is making a pink thermal printer? All right, just directly out of the box here. This is a beautiful matte finish at the top. And it looks like if I open this way, all right, that seems pretty straightforward. The labels, you can get accordion style like this, or you can get them on a roll, and it's just gonna feed from back behind the thermal printer here. I am excited to go ahead and download the app that I need and get started. We're gonna print out a test label and see how quickly this thing really does print and what quality it prints at. Okay, very quickly I got this connected to my phone via the Jadens app, and then let's see how easy it is to get the paper to load. I don't know, should I open this? I'm doing this without the instruction book. Probably not the smartest thing ever, but the other paper just loaded automatically. It says that side should face down. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get a label loaded here. I don't know if I'm gonna have this straight. We may have to try this more than once. Okay, it looks like it's good. Okay, before this moment, that has been the single most time-consuming part of shipping on Whatnot for me, is packaging everything up and then going to the computer, logging in, because I use my desktop for that, because I'm using my old thermal printer that's not Bluetooth. And the fact that I just did all of that from my phone and it printed that lightning fast on this 4x6 label, the print quality is perfect. 11 out of 10. That was so easy. I was honestly a little bit apprehensive because of the price point on this thing. I thought that there was going to be a big learning curve, and that was so easy. I wish that someone had told me to get a thermal printer long before I did. I wish that I understood how much that was eating into my profits. Every piece of packing supplies, every label, all of the ink, all of the paper even that I was using, that was all part of my cost of goods to get a package out the door. And a thermal printer has drastically reduced those shipping costs. Obviously, the elephant in the room here, how does this compare price-wise to Rollo? Because that seems to be, for some odd reason, the standard in reselling is Rollo printers. $259 to $300 for a Bluetooth Rollo printer. This one, right now on the website, it's already on sale, okay? Normally $159.99. So normally almost half of what Rollo is, but it's currently on sale for $89.99. Plus, wait, hang on just a second, because it gets even better than $89.99, less than $100 for a Bluetooth thermal printer. It gets even better because I have partnered with Jadens as the sponsor of today's video, and they're giving everyone watching this video 14% off that already low price. You can get this printer today in pink. Now it is available in green and in white, but the pink, and the price of the pink one, $77 and change. Is $77, I think 39 cents after the 14% off that they're giving everyone watching this video. Less than $80 for a Bluetooth thermal printer. Run, don't walk down to the description and click that link, guys. I don't know how long that sale is going on, but their website is full of thermal printers for every need that you have. There's even one on there that I'm looking at for my husband that will print on just 8x10 letter paper. He is out in the field with his job all the time and needs to print things on demand and have customers sign copies. He could print it from his truck from a tiny little thermal printer, and you're never buying ink again. This is why it's one tip I wish people had told me earlier. For so long as a reseller, when I first started, I was printing on paper, and if you've ever bought ink cartridges for an inkjet printer, you know that they're not cheap. And so it seemed like every few weeks we were buying a $50, a $60 ink cartridge, a black ink cartridge especially, and then like a little dinosaur with my little T-Rex arms, I was clipping those out of the paper and then taping them onto packages. I wish someone had just screamed at me, hey, here's a $77 thermal printer and you can print from your phone. If someone had told me that advice when I was a new reseller, even as a seasoned reseller, guys, I have 2 other thermal printers, and I can tell you this could replace both of them, because neither of those others, one of which was over $200, neither of those I can print from my phone. This one is seriously a game changer. I'm excited about it. Again, thank you to Jadens for sponsoring this video. The link that goes directly to their website, where you can use code RS14, Rachel Strickland 14, because 14% off anything on their website. Anything, even if it's not this one. All right, so let's head now to the post office as well as the thrift store. What I'm really looking for, I'm hoping to find some cool jewelry that I can flip, because the thrift store that I go to has a really good deal on jewelry. Most of it's like $1 most of the time. Sometimes it's $2 or so. And I need to have some jewelry whatnot sales, so that's what we're looking for today. But first, let's talk about the third thing I wish I had known when I first started reselling, and that is that sell-through rate is king. We all know how important it is to run comps when you find an item. You can't just go based off of a feeling, or this top is cute. Just because you like it does not mean it's going to sell. Just because it's valuable does not mean that it's going to sell, or because it was valuable at one point, maybe at retail or years ago. Just because it was valuable around Christmas time 6-7 months ago does not mean it's going to sell today. When you pick up an item is the time to run comps. When you list an item, you need to rerun comps, especially if that item has lived with you for some time since the time that you picked it up. But when you run comps, it is not only important to see how much that item is selling for versus how much it's listed for, it is even more important, in my opinion, to see how often that item is selling. That's what the sell-through rate is. how often it's selling versus and compared to how many of those items are currently listed. If sell-through rate has ever seemed intimidating to you, I'm going to use the best layman's terms that I can here to explain it. Let's say that we are selling fruit and 100 people want to sell an apple. So we have 100 apples listed, and we're gonna look and see in the last 90 days how many apples actually sold. We know people are selling them, but is anyone actually buying them? And we see that 4 apples have sold in the last 90 days. We had 3 months to sell apples and we still have 100 listed and there are only 4 sold. Does an apple seem like something you should be picking up if this is true? Let's say that you want to sell oranges and there are currently 50 oranges listed. And in the last 90 days, 100 oranges have sold. There's only 50 listed. That's half of what the current demand is. Do you think you should pick up oranges? I'll be honest with you guys, in the very beginning of my reselling career, I was more concerned with the fact that the apples sold for $7 and the oranges only sold for $1. Yeah, I had the opportunity to make $7 if I ever sold that apple, if it ever sold. This really goes back to my very first point about not trusting every BOLO list and every BOLO that you hear about. Do your own research, examine those sell-through rates, because I'm telling you, it means so much more than the sold price. How often is that item selling in comparison to how many are currently available? There is a lot to examining and really researching sell-through rate and even your own sell-through rate, how many items you currently have listed versus how many you sold in the last 90 days. But I hope that this fruit comparison really breaks it down in a way that even brand new resellers can understand. Sell-through rate is king. It really, really matters. All right, we're at the thrift store. Let's go see if we can find some really cool jewelry. Let's see what I can find and how I can apply the principles we've talked about to what I find. I started out looking in the toiletries because you never know if you're going to find something discontinued. I found some cream deodorant once for 25 cents and I sold that stuff for $25, so I will look here every time. But I do regret taking the cap off of this because as soon as I took the cap off of it, it just started vibrating and I put it right back down. No ma'am, that is just going to stay on the shelf for its 75 cents. Now, I'm not really sure why I take you guys through the shoe section like I do in this trip, but here is one of the 4 shoe shelves. We're going to go over here and check these out. I need to check out these Converse and make sure they're not some vintage made in America. They are $6, and that would be a great deal if I was buying them for myself, but buying them for resale, it's just not worth it. I know these are just no boundary shoes. I just wanted to show them to you guys because Y2K vibes. Why do I keep looking at these for me? Someone in the comments tell me I do not need these shoes because there's nowhere that I'm going to wear those. Literally, name one place that I would wear a pair of shoes like that. Lots of purses hang on the wall right beside me here. You guys can't see them. There was really nothing to mention. But holy gravy boats. There were gravy boats everywhere. I really like this shape of this one. It must have been someone's entire collection that got donated or something. This one is so mid-century. I think it says Russell Wright on the bottom, but these are only worth about $5 to $10 on eBay, and they wanted $3. Again, if I was buying it just for me, perhaps. But there were just so many really pretty, again, mid-century designs. This is what I would call restaurant wear. This really thick ceramic or porcelain. Restaurant wear is a good keyword for something like that. And again, do y'all think that someone's entire collection of gravy boats just got donated or what? This one is Homer Laughlin. That can be a bolo. It's not with this. Although it's only $1, it would probably only sell for, again, $5 to $10 over on eBay. But Homer Laughlin is the creator of Fiesta wear, if you didn't know. Here is a second shoe shelf that I decided not to show you guys the first time. So we're back at the shoes and we're going to check out what is over here. Typically, I don't find any huge brands at this particular thrift store in the shoes, but I have found 2 or 3 pair of Rothy's antiques at this particular thrift store. So I'll keep looking. Most of the time, they're priced well if you want to just buy them for yourself. See, these look like Rothy's, but then I was like, oh, these are just some random, I don't know, Shein or Temu or something shoes. But they were cloth, and they kind of fooled me. It's worth taking a second look if something does catch your eye. Those are like that Y2K Blowfish brand, which could be a thing soon. All of these sunglasses. I guess Walmart just dropped off a bunch of stuff here. The sunglasses were $1, and these are supposed to be like some nautical decor. I'm assuming, I don't know exactly where you decorate with something like that. I didn't take them home. They were 50 cents. I think Walmart originally had them for $3.99. This is kind of a seasonal shelf in this thrift store, and it was summery stuff there. Nothing really caught my eye. I did check out the VHSs. There's a handful of titles I am looking for every single time. I am always looking for the Cars VHS, and then there's a VHS called A History of Violence, and I'm always looking for that VHS. I'm not seeing either of those two titles here today, but if you know, you know. Those two are really worth picking up. I did find some fun titles though. The Care Bears movie too. Come on. I probably could have sold that on Whatnot. And Babysitter's Club, this cover and this VHS just brought back so many good memories for me. I like the nostalgia, I guess, of thumbing through the VHS section. Except for this one, Jack Frost. My husband makes us watch this every Christmas, and I could burn every copy that exists of Jack Frost and be satisfied. That is the weirdest Christmas movie. Do you guys love Jack Frost or do you hate it? This is our sad little toy section. You can't possibly tell me that no toys get donated to this thrift store, but this is always what it looks like. Here's a bag of Hot Wheels for $10. There's nothing special about any of the cars in here, but I guess someone keeps buying them because I keep seeing bags of them out for like $10, $15, $12, and then they're gone. So somebody's buying them to sell them, or I guess just has a good collection. Look at this air mattress. Looking at just the sold comps, I would have got excited thinking I could sell it for $70, 28 listed and only 2 sold, nowhere near that. So another good example of the sell-through rate being king and the sold price was nowhere near what the listed price was. Why are these dishes still here? These dishes were half off the other day. They were $2. They're so beautiful. Now, I have seen this guy in here a couple different times now. The cutest little captain pirate, but what happened to his face? He's kind of like Captain Ahab meets RoboCop or something because he's got some battle wounds. We're going to put this whale next to him because that's definitely the nautical vibes somebody needs to take home. Now, I did start seeing a lot of really cool brass and metal pieces. These are kind of a silver tone on top, but you can see how highly tarnished they are. And then they were a gold tone on the bottom. Champagne flutes, I'm sure fit for a wedding, some copper or brass napkin rings, and I should have got that bowl. I could put some succulents in that. Finally, something I think I can sell, this little trinket. Why is this $5? This trinket box is cool, but I can't resell it. I can't flip it and make any money for $5. Those Tyvek suits were only $2, but people look to buy those in packs of like 25 on eBay, and believe it or not, it wasn't worth picking up even for the $2. I did run comps. Now, y'all help me out with this. Help me figure out why this cute little dish that says mom, that is clearly hand painted, was a gift from a child. This has a kid's name on the bottom of it, you guys. It says Grant. Why did Grant's mom donate this? I'm sorry, whatever my kids give me, I don't care what it looks like. I'm going to keep that forever. You could just put my ashes in that and make it my urn because it is not showing up in the thrift store if my sweet little baby bears gave me that. I mean, that's just me. I'm not judging you, Grant's mom, but maybe everybody else is. Let's go see if we can find some crystal among the pressed glass today. If you're ever in a thrift store and you have a hard time discerning crystal from glass, I actually just put out a YouTube short that walks you through 3 ways to tell the difference between crystal and glass. One of them is the prism that it makes in the light. One of them is the noise that it makes. You definitely need to just go check out that short. That way, if you're ever curious, hey, is this crystal, is this glass, you'll be able to tell also. I think that these were crystal back here and they weren't a bad price. Little sugar dishes, I guess. You could use them for lots of different things. They were only $2 a piece, but I'm not looking for personal here. I am still on the hunt for something to flip, and it is looking more like a yard sale than a thrifter's or flipper's paradise in here. $1 for this little cornhole memo board. Why am I still in this store? Because I am going to find something to sell. I just keep finding stuff that I want for personal use. You could use this for a pillar candle or a taper, and they're only 50 cents. Oh, here, I could sell this. I could sell this unicorn. I could flip this on Whatnot. It's only $1 and it's broken. The horn is broken. All right, not picking up the unicorn today, but definitely people love unicorns. I feel like that's something collectible enough. You're going to sell it. Why am I not finding anything? What is this? This is just some rudimentary, very primitive pieces of wood. Someone tell me what that was. Lots of little 25 and 50 cent pieces of glass that this thrift store should probably just lot up and get rid of. Aha!
I see Kenmore. These are branded water filters. I ran the comps on this, guys, and there are more. This is a pretty good sell-through rate, and for only $1 a piece, I'm gonna buy all that they have. Here are some golf clubs I know nothing about. Tell me if I passed up anything amazing. And then I saw this Craftsman industrial jig. This is a dovetail jig, 11 listed, 11 sold, and it sells for like $90 plus shipping. Amateur move. I didn't have this cart with me, so I ran to the front of the store. I am running back to the back of the store to get that Craftsman dovetail jig in my cart. Guys, when you walk in the thrift store, don't be lazy like me. Get yourself a cart, all right? It doesn't matter if only ones left have squeaky wheels. You squeak your way around that thrift store so you don't have to race back and hope that no one beat you to your Craftsman jig like I had to. Some artwork on the walls here. No one tell my husband I picked this up because Lord knows I got about 80 paintings that I want to redo when I ever find the time. But this one was screaming at me. This still life, I'm going to turn it into something amazing. You guys just wait. Hopefully those projects will be coming out soon. But here is a red flag. If a thrift store uses the word vintage on a price tag, major red flag. Vintage thread box back there, $12. I'm just not finding anything. Okay, but I did get the water filters that are branded. And I did get the Craftsman jig. Now that Craftsman dovetail jig was only $25. And honestly, there were a lot of comps. Some of them were cheaper than others, but a lot of the comps around $90 plus shipping. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Should be a quick $50 profit. Because when I looked, there actually were only like 5 currently listed and 11 sold. So we are sitting at like 200% on the sell-through rate. I think that that is a major green flag. So applying the principles we've been talking about in this video, definitely picking that up. Puzzles. That reminds me of when everyone was saying pick up all the puzzles. Are any of you guys still left with puzzles? Did you sell all of them during the shutdown? Because they were big then. But if you were watching old videos, you might have been picking up puzzles when it was way past time to be picking up puzzles, and you might be holding them now. Some good furniture in here. Nothing that I need to buy except for this sequin shirt. Hello. Stay tuned to the end of the video to see me try that on. I promise you don't want to miss that. This sparkly shirt, should I get it? I'm going to leave it, but I am going to get the sequin one. And look at this bag. You think I'm not going to walk out with this brand new Isaac Mizrahi bag for $12? I got that thing.
I feel like that was a pretty successful little thrift trip, even though maybe I got more things for me than I got to sell. And let me just say something. Okay, so for everyone that's watching that says that I steal from thrift stores or I'm stealing from the poor, the $25 jig, she didn't ring it up. And I said, oh, I don't think you charged me the $25 for the jig, because my total was $21.50. To which she says, yes, I did. I actually had to argue with her to get her to charge me, and it ended up being like 40 something dollars or whatever. So yeah, definitely that's me out here stealing from the poor. Wait, before we head home, it looks like I just received an offer over on eBay. Let's see what it is. Okay, it's for a cassette tape that I have listed for $48. They're offering $38, and absolutely, like, show me the money. I'm gonna accept this offer. And it looks like they're a repeat buyer. So a buyer that was satisfied with buying cassettes from me in the past in the way that I packaged them, and that is a major win for me. I love to see a repeat buyer. $38 sale plus shipping when I just spent $41 at the thrift store. Like, what other job can you do this? While we are talking about the next tip, I'm gonna be listing these Kenmore water filters. I feel confident about these because they are Kenmore branded. It's not, I know some people have had trouble with Veros with Kenmore specifically, or I don't know, maybe Whirlpool refrigerator filters, but I think that's because they go to, they have like an unbranded filter that's compatible with, and they had a couple unbranded ones there, but I left them. I do feel good about these. I tell you what, I may list all 3 of these together just to get one big sale and get it out the door. It does, however, have this $1 mark. You see that marker right there? It has that on all of them. So I'm gonna show you guys how I get that off, and then we'll talk about what I wish I knew. All right, I feel pretty confident about trying just a dry erase marker. So what I'm gonna do is just go over the number 1 here as if the marker is an eraser, okay? You're not trying to trace it, you're trying to actually erase it. And then go over with the eraser part, look at that. Like it was never there. You just smudge it like an eraser. Perfect. All right, now I gotta do the other 2. I'm out to list these really, really fast, so I'm literally just sticking them on my kitchen counter here. Here's my comp. I'm gonna use my phone and just get these things listed right away. Wanting to get these listed as quickly as possible is because of my next point, and that is, this is gonna be a little controversial. This may sting a little bit for some of you seasoned resellers, but you don't need a death pile. I think somehow the idea of having unlisted inventory is sold as the reseller starter kit. We say death pile as if all resellers have them and should have them. And in reality, any item that you purchase that you haven't yet listed is making you $0. That is actually just a debit into your business. It's not a credit at all. I didn't just make money at the thrift store just because I went and I found items that have a high sell-through rate and sell for more than what I paid for them. I honestly don't even make money listing them right now. I make money not even when they sell. I make money when I have shipped the item. When the purchase is complete, the buyer is satisfied, and that money hits my bank account. So why would I stop midway through the race and buy the item and then just let it sit unlisted? I know we're all guilty of it. I'm not claiming to be the exception to that, but I just wish that I knew when I first started reselling that you don't have to have a death pile. Because I think somehow, especially here on YouTube, we give off this idea that that unlisted inventory is a security blanket. And I know for some of you guys it is, because what if thrift stores shut down again? What if I can't find inventory? What if? There's always going to be a what if, and that item is costing you a lot the longer that it sits. And I'll speak for myself. You guys, throw a comment if this has ever happened to you, but who has ever saved an item either to list it a certain season, or you just didn't list it, and then when you go back to list it, it's damaged, it's destroyed, something happened to it, and you should have just listed it when you bought it. For me, coming straight home and getting these items listed is the only way that I'm truly treating my business like my business, because unlisted inventory is just sitting there. These are already listed. Let's see how quickly we can get these sold. Well, that's about all my tips for today, and I have a strict policy not to work in this hammock. It is my one and only place of solitude, because if you've resold for any amount of time, you know it quickly takes over your entire house. I've worked at the kitchen table, I've worked in my bed, I work in the living room, I work in my office. Every room of this house I have worked in, and it's hard for me to relax. But in this hammock, I don't work. It's honestly the only place I feel like I can just relax. I'm honestly not upset about it, because you can't pour from an empty cup, and because I work real hard, I can relax real hard. And tomorrow will be there. I'll be right back at it, treat my business like my business. I tried to try on the sequin top that I bought. Let me just show you guys. I honestly don't even know if I can get it off at this point. Look at this. What? I feel like Chris Farley. What is happening?
Who's Chris Farley? Whatever.
Oh no. My son just asked me, Mom, who's Chris Farley?